Welcome to a special weekend data story episode of Two Layman Data Engineers. I'm host 1, joined by host 2. Hey everyone. Picture this. It's Tuesday morning. You're still half asleep. You glance at your phone and a news alert pops up. Tensions are rising between the US and Iran. You tap that notification and read the headline. But the moment your screen lights up, an invisible shockwave has already rippled across the financial world. That alert represents world leaders sitting in assembly halls, making sweeping decisions that ripple outward from a political center 10,000 miles away from your kitchen. It's a strange chain of events. A political statement made on the other side of the planet shifts the value of your personal investment portfolio before you've even finished your coffee. To see how that happens, we have to look past the idea of the cloud. Information travels through a massive, tangible infrastructure hidden from view. Data is intensely physical. Every news alert, trade, and text message travels through a global network of fiber optic cables resting on the ocean floor. This is a heavy industrial effort. You have massive ships dropping thousands of miles of cable and buoys into the sea to lay the literal groundwork for global communication. When a geopolitical event happens, news agencies use high-speed APIs to push the raw data through these underwater pipes the exact millisecond it breaks. On this map, we can trace that pulse racing from the Middle East, shooting through the subsea routes toward New York, London, and Tokyo. This invisible wire ensures the geopolitical spark reaches financial centers in milliseconds, arriving long before most people even know a press conference took place. Once the ping hits land, it reaches its first major destination, institutional hubs like the New York Stock Exchange. Because data replicates, that same packet arrives simultaneously in Europe, lighting up the servers at the London Stock Exchange. At this speed, human traders are at a biological disadvantage. By the time a person reads the headline and processes the news, the initial market reaction is already over. This is why the first responders to global news aren't humans, but natural language processing bots, or NLP algorithms. These bots scan the news text specifically for sentiment. In a millisecond, the algorithm decides if a phrase signals danger, marking it red, or a positive trade deal, marking it green. Without human context, these bots provide the first response to world events. They scan, they tag, and the market follows their logic. This is a digital line of dominoes waiting to be tipped over, a setup called event-driven architecture. The trigger occurs when the NLP bot senses a threat and hits the pub subsystem, short for publisher and subscriber. This diagram shows the broadcast. A single signal from a publisher node is sent to hundreds of subscriber nodes at the same time. These subscribing servers trigger an instant cascade of sell orders the moment they receive that ping. This automated reaction moves with incredible velocity, instantly shifting global market prices before a human trader even blinks. This cascade bypasses human logic entirely, altering prices across the globe in a fraction of a second based on a machine-led interpretation of the news. This global algorithmic reaction eventually reaches the local level, impacting retail portfolios and everyday companies. Consider an auto manufacturer like Tata Motors. When the algorithm registers geopolitical tension, it assumes global supply chain trouble and automatically pulls down manufacturing stocks. The stock might drop even if the company's local sales are strong and their materials are sourced domestically. The factory floor continues as usual, but the digital price reflects the global panic. We see similar effects in lifestyle stocks like Zomato. If an algorithm senses general consumer anxiety in the news, it might trigger a localized dip in food delivery shares based on that sentiment alone. Local business fundamentals are often temporarily overridden by these broad, automated shifts in global sentiment. There are, however, companies that thrive on this instantaneous market chaos. This chart shows how market dips create violent spikes in trading volume. As algorithms scramble, millions of trades fire. Depository systems process this data tidal wave, earning fees on the load itself. High volatility translates directly into profit, regardless of market direction. Looking at the undersea cables, the news APIs, and the trading bots together, you see a system that functions like a single living entity. Data has become the central nervous system of the modern world, a live, pulsing stream that connects every company and investment portfolio. That's our look at the invisible wire for today. Subscribe to 2 Layman Data Engineers for more jargon-free tech stories. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.